I know, a black and white intro, not very common here, but I don't want to spoiler you because today I am doing a palette bingo with all of my Natasha Denona palettes, and we're talking 9. We have 2 mini palettes and 7 mini palettes. So if you want to see how this roller coaster is going and I create this, for now, black and white look, stay tuned. Okay, you guys, these are all my Natasha Denona palettes. We do have 2 mini palettes. One is the Retro Glam, the other one is Starlet. And then we have Yucca, Retro Glam, I Need a Nude, Bronze, Xenon, My Dream, and Retro. And what I'm going to do is, I saw a lot of videos on how to do bingos, so I've written them all down, and I do have a random number generator here on my phone. So I just put the number, for example, for a mini palette, I do 1 to 5, then I click, and then it says which number I'm going to pick. I will write that down here on my sheet of paper, and then I'll do the makeup. Okay, so let's start with the mini Retro Glam palette. And the number we get is number 3, which, ooh, that is cool. It's this green in the middle. That is super. Now let's do Starlet, number 1. Okay, so number 1 is this very, very nice kind of mid-toned matte shade. So for all the remaining palettes, of course, the max number is 15. So let's start for the Yucca palette, 14. I'm a bit afraid because I didn't open the palette before the number was chosen. So in case it was not logical, I count like starting with the 1, you know, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on. So number 14 is this one. This is Ixia. It's a very, very warm brown. Let's pick the Retro Glam, and this is shade number 2. And it's the shade Jazzy. Okay. I want to use every single shade for the look, so hopefully this turns out quite well. Now I have here the I Need a Nude, and it says number 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, filigree. Next up in my pile is Bronze and number 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, High Degree. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we only have 3 mattes so far. So let's hope I get some more mattes, because I feel like the color temperature, the hues are a bit off now. Next up is Xenon, number 12. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. Okay, Snurf. These shade names though. Cool tone gray, that's good. Can balance out everything a bit because I don't want to have too warm eye look. Now for the My Dream palette, number 3. And let's open it. 1, 2, 3. Another shimmer shade. Yay! Can I please get some color now? Because the last palette I have to pick is from Retro, and the color one. Oh, I don't think this is a color shade. Okay, it's Glitz. Okay, that's a nice inner corner highlight. I can already imagine that. So I just swatched all the shades that the random number generator picked for me, and this is the color story I have to work with now. Okay, I'm actually starting with the gray shade from the Xenon palette because I feel like this is the most logical to start with. Since everything else leans very, very warm, this might be a okayish transition base, whatever. But I take a very, very fluffy brush and apply this into this transition area. This really only should act as a base and is probably covered later on in the process. I'm now using the Ixia shade from the Yucca, and I take a more dense blending brush and I apply this through the crease. You know how I dislike the Yucca palette in general, so I hope that I could even get a shimmer from this palette, but no. The gambling gods are mad at me because I hate Yucca, I guess. So they gave me one of the most disgusting matte shades in this palette. I'm now using 60s from the Mini Retro, and I deepen up the crease with this. This whole look looks so dirty already. I hate it. I'm now tapping into High Degree from the Bronze palette, and I use this in the center of my lid. But I'm leaving bare the inner and outer part. I just realized that I made a bit of a mistake. So this shade was not in our bingo. I just swatched the wrong shade because when I swatched from the Starlight Mini, I swatched this and not this. So let me just correct that real quick. So this must be in there and not this. So I can sadly not use this, which now brings my plan a bit in chaos, but it's good that I have this one because I can correct a lot with this shade. So before I move on with the shimmers, I'm tapping into this one. This is the shade Nude Mauve. And I use this mainly to correct these very dirty edges around my eye. It's my first bingo, so I have no idea if I'm doing that right, what I do. So for a slightly correct representation, I just tried to remove that shimmer shade, but there's still a bit glitter left. But this is the correct color story. I'm now using Filigree from the I Need a Nude palette, and I apply this on the outer part of my lid. And I take Serenity from the Retro palette for the inner part of my lid. This is a very, very weird sandwich on my eyelid. I wouldn't eat that, to be honest. I took some more of that High Degree shade from Bronze, and I just wanna bring back some of the intensity that got lost. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm starting with Jazzy from the Retro Glam. And I smudged this along the lower lash line. And I also got back into the Mini Starlight palette, into this Nude Mauve shade. And I used this to blend this out a bit better. All that is now left is the shade Glitz from the Retro palette, and I use this as inner corner highlight, and later on, I think I will do this off camera, also as brow and highlight. Glitz is actually one of my favorite shades from Natasha Denona in general. I think it's a very, very pretty, surprising shade. Okay, I will now finish the rest and then let's discuss this look. Okay, so I think now with a finished face, it's kind of acceptable, but to be honest, the lid is fine. It's not a color combo I would have done on the lid, but what my problem is just the crease. The gray mixed with this poo color from Yucca, then the retro green, then the mauve that kind of tied it together. So let's just please say that this very first palette bingo was a journey, and I had some fun with it, even though this is not really a look I would do no matter what palette. And let's be honest, you've seen the color story. It's also not the color story in a pre-made palette I would ever buy. So what do you think? Let me know. And what palette bingo do you like to see next? I'm only doing a palette bingo if I have more than 2 palettes of one brand, but leave me down below what you would like to see next. Of course, please subscribe, check out the info box, because all of these Natasha Denona stuff, so let me be a good YouTuber, and oh my god, are they heavy. So all of this Natasha Denona stuff here, oh my god, the palette just dropped. All of this Natasha Denona stuff now for the 3rd time, you can also buy on the Natasha Denona website, and if you want to save some money, you can use my code EllaKingsley to just save 15% off. So thank you for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one.